Hi, my loves, and welcome back to the Golden Aura podcast. I'm your host, Thesea Love. And as always, I'm so excited, so ecstatic, so joyful to be back again here with you guys for another episode. Y'all, I'm going to be completely frank. I do not have a topic today. I don't. Just before I started the video, I asked God, I said, God, please speak through me. I made it, a mission in the beginning, and I tried my hardest to be a woman of my word. You know what I mean? Because word is bond, for real. I tried to be a woman of my word, and I said that I was going to post videos once a week. We are on day 8 now here, because I'm on UK timing. But out of those 8 days, I ran through a bunch of different things, a bunch of different topics that came to my mind, and I'm like, I don't know if these topics really feel right, So I'm sitting here and I'm just like, well, what am I going to talk about? I need to put out something. I want to put out something, because this has quickly become a passion of mine. Just sharing insight, information, encouragement, not only just with y'all but with myself, because this is almost it can be like therapy. It's almost like you talking to yourself, but you also helping other people at the same time. So I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I just got this book that I ordered a while ago. My mom was able to send it to me for Christmas. It's called Remember Who the Fuck You Are by Candace Love. And it makes me really, it was really healing for me. I'm only like 45, 46 pages in. I just started it tonight, but I forget how healing it can be to hear somebody else's story and be just like truly inspired, and not just inspired, but resonate with them deeply about the things that help them transform into the best version of who they are right now. Now, Candace Love is somebody that I deeply admire in the healing and metaphysical world. Like, she is somebody that I deeply admire because she reminds me to, like, an episode that I listened to her, that I listened of hers. She's the first person to remind me that it is okay to step back in the past. It really is. Like, as humans, things of the past will come up, and it does not mean that you're falling back behind, right? You can look at those old versions of yourself and still have love and compassion for that version of yourself without being like, no, that's not me anymore, and fuck around dissing them, forgetting about them. She is who made me realize that it is 100% okay to acknowledge that the you right now may not have emotions that's coming up right now, but maybe it's a past version of you that's having emotions that you are feeling right now. Because no matter how far we run, people say you gotta kill off this, you gotta kill off that in order to get to your highest self, right? Those versions of you are you. They will be with you. They may not be you in the flesh, but baby, they still there in your subconscious mind. There is still fragmentations. There are still little bits of them there. They still deeply reside with you in the deepest parts of you. You know what I mean? And it depends on your perspective whether you deem that to be a negative or a positive. But in my reality, I choose to deem that as a positive, because I know for a fact that no version of myself was ever trying to do myself any harm. I always wanted the utmost brilliant, magical, beautiful life for myself. So anything that I did, any way that I never was being that way to be a detriment to myself. That was never the case. And she is who made me realize that it is okay to acknowledge those versions of yourself, because they are a part of you. And that is a deep part of just self-love. You know, a lot of times we see the mirrors in other people, and that is something big that I had to learn as well. We use people as other mirrors. We use people as other mirrors. How am I saying that, y'all? Stay with me. I'm sorry. People can be mirrors to us to reflect what we need to work on within ourselves, and I've been getting better at this with like not putting, not making myself the victim when people don't respond to me in a way that I want to or that I feel like they need to, you know, just allowing it to be and saying, okay, why did this bother me when they reacted or responded to me in this type of way? Why did it make me feel some type of way? And using the interaction with that person, whatever trigger wound that came up, I'm using it to help me get to the root of why is this bothering me, because it shouldn't bother me. You know what I mean? It's somebody else outside of me saying or doing something, even though they're saying it to me or doing it to me, it shouldn't really bother me for real. Like, it shouldn't. And this whole life journey is really about self. For real. Like, if people are supposed to be mirrors to help you reflect on what you need to work on about yourself, like, yes, we're supposed to be compassionate, but we also supposed to treat people how we want to be treated. So again, yourself is involved in the equation somehow, right? And getting into the whole metaphysical thing, the whole spirituality thing, a lot of getting to your higher self. And I have said this in previous videos that a lot of videos will tell you, a lot of spiritual people will tell you that you need to completely abandon, you need to crucify or kill versions of yourself that, you don't want to be anymore. And you deeply have to be discerning about what resonates with your spirit and what does not. But when I heard that, it never resonated with me. I was like, why would I want to? Why do I have to kill myself off in order to be my highest self? That doesn't make any sense. I don't want to do that. Right? I was like, what if I can make amends with myself, with all the versions of myself, so much so that they just help me in my elevation to being who we are destined to be in this life, which is nothing short of greatness, right? So listening to Candace Love, a podcast episode that she did a few years back. This was some months ago when I listened to it, but it had me crying. I cried so hard because sometimes when we are feeling emotions, y'all know, almost like Inside Out, when you get to like puberty age, emotions start to become a lot more complex than just happy, sad, or mad. You feel a mixture of different things, and those mixture of different things can be confusing. And a lot of things can be true at one time. It's not like it's this way. Like, it's a lot of emotions that could be possible at one time, which leads to a lot of confusion, and it takes you asking yourself, okay, what's wrong? Yourself will always tell you, but it takes not avoiding what is coming up. Now, a thing for me that I've been noticing lately is food. I'm a really healthy eater, but anytime I'm feeling confused or sad or frustrated, my typical thing that I want to indulge in is sweets. And anything sweet means that you want to feel loved, right? And obviously, when I'm going for the sweets, I think that my mind kind of like mutes the part, like blinds the part of me that knows that, okay, reaching for sweets means that you trying to feel loved. So we need to unpack why you're not feeling love right now. It's like, no, we just want to switch just because, like, it's life, YOLO, da 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 da. Da. Even though I don't believe in that, it goes to show you what the mind, the ego will do to make you comfortable in your environment. And this Cancer moon that just passed, any full moon in general, is just about facing yourself. Every day is about facing yourself, but you know, just like a full moon or the phases of the moon will rock the tides of the ocean, it also rocks our internal tides. So the full moon will definitely bring out your true emotions, and I've been noticing over this full moon I've been reaching or wanting more sweets as of lately. And only on the back end part of the full moon have I actually been like, girl, like what's up? What's up? You is not eating a whole box of Oreos, mama. Like, come on. But it really do be like that sometimes. And I had to sit with myself today. Like I had a friend to come and visit me. My brother like came down here to visit me. So I've been around a lot more people than usual. It's usually just me and my husband and my baby. And during the night, whenever it's time for me to clean up, my baby and my husband already, go upstairs, go lay down and stuff like that. It leaves me time to like be to myself and like think, you know? Not even just think, but actually listen to the thoughts that's going on in my head, and not trying to overshadow them with a bunch of positive talk. Because at a point in my life, that was me trying to overshadow all the emotions that come up with positive talk. And at some points in time, you do. Christians will call that a rebuke, to rebuke the things that, are not in resonance with who you are right now. But something that I'm learning is to hold space for the emotions that do come up, because rebuking them when you're not even trying to hear them out just because they don't resonate with you does not leave room for them to pass through you. They're only going to feel judged, and they're going to bury themselves deep down, and you're still going to have to address those things. So during this full moon, I haven't had the opportunity to really sit with myself into the day. And I'm like, why am I feeling confusion? Why am I feeling sad? Like, I've these past few days I've been feeling deep gratitude. I've been feeling like, you know, all the time God is good, but I just been feeling it so deeply. Like, I've been feeling that there's so much just joy and positivity and abundance in the air, and I feel that deep in my soul. But I'm like, why am I feeling so confused and so conflicted when I'm alone? And it made me realize that, like, it made me remember that whenever we're around people, sometimes it around a lot of people, it can crowd our actual emotions with how we actually feel, just because you're in interaction with other people's energy. And I don't want to say that I'm one to perform, because I'm really not. I'm really not. I don't code switch. I don't think I code switch. I'm the same way with everybody. Sorry, y'all. Um, that was a storage notification, so I'm not gonna make this too long because I think I deleted just enough stuff for us to be able to record a little bit more. But that was an indicator, I feel like, to me, that you know to try to start wrapping things up. So yeah, I can't remember what part I left off on, but essentially I just have been able to sit with my feelings, and I'm like, why am I feeling so confused? And it made me realize that being around a lot of people was really overcrowding like the feelings that we're trying to resurface, because I'm not performing them at all, but it's just I don't know how to explain that. Being around other people really does overcrowd your true emotions, and you won't understand the depths of how you feel until you are just really sitting with yourself and you can hear clearly with no distractions, no phone, no TV, no nothing, what is really playing on your mental, what God is telling you. And even outside of just me sitting with myself thinking like little resonations of little TV shows and stuff that I'm watching. Like tonight I watched Percy Jackson and like The Lightning Thief with my husband, and it made me, there was a part when, Poseidon was talking to him whenever, Athena Athena's daughter Annabelle had like cut him up pretty bad when they were training for they little half blood school. Not little, they have blood school, all right. And he could hear his dad in his head telling him to go to the water that it'll heal him, and it literally took away all his bruises where he could finish fighting his battle. You won't be able to hear those inner voices, that inner guidance, whether you think of it as your higher self, whether you think of it as your ancestors, your spirit team, the most high. I think of it as a combination of all. And it really allowed me to understand and reflect and remember my freaking divinity, which brings me back to the book that I was just reading. There are lots of moments in life where we will feel a lot of complex emotions that we just have to sit with and allow for those emotions to be felt, actually feel them with no distraction, hold space for them, and allow them to pass through you. But also know that those emotions are just temporary and you are just here to experience those emotions and that situation, whatever the situation may be. And it does not take away from who you are. It does not mean that you are not on the right path. In fact, it means that you are on the right path, that these emotions are coming up, because that is the only way that you will grow. For these emotions, whether they were buried or whether they are emotions that are just coming from present time, allowing yourself to feel them allows you to grow and allows you to elevate to your highest self. And we are a part of everything. Everything in this world we have a direct connection to. Nature, what, like everything is nature for real. We are nature. So we have a direct relation to everything that creation is. And just taking time to just feel how jaw-droppingly mind-blowing that is. Just sitting in the presence of yourself is sitting in the presence of God, because you are God's creation. I am God's creation. Nature is God's creation. It's like there is something so mind-blowing about that. There is something so mind-blowing about the fact that your higher self, God, will speak to you and tell you everything that you need to know to help you in this present moment, to help whatever you need to know, to help you know that as long as you have faith, you will get through. I was watching Grownish, which has quickly become one of my favorite freaking things to watch. And it was the episode where Junior had took some shrooms and he ended up looking at himself, his reflection in a body of water that was next to his college, and his younger self appeared and he started asking his younger self, what are what are the secrets to life? What's the purpose to life? And then he thought, he was like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this is for you. And that is so profound, because when you think about the fact that, like, if every timeline is happening simultaneously, the past, the present, and the future are happening all at the same time, your younger self is learning how to survive. You know what I mean? Learning how to live this life. You know what I mean? And you living this life, the life that you're living in present moment, with the lessons and the knowledge that you understand from across the timelines is giving them hope and giving them faith that it's all gonna be okay. You're gonna make it through in whatever way that needs to. Like, I have gotten to the habit of whenever I need a quick word, imagining my imagining my higher self talking to me. And like nowadays I don't even have to imagine it. It's literally like my higher self is talking to me. Like we be having a full blown conversation. I was like it'd be so crazy. I'd be like, wow, that was exactly what I needed to hear. Like we talk to each other just like we girlfriends, and it's like for real it is, because you have to be your literal best friend. And that may sound crazy to some people, you know, if you know you know, but Brandy said it best. You literally have to be your best friend. You do not know what you would do without yourself. Across every single timeline that exists, you do not know what you would do without yourself, without the inner knowing, without the inner guidance. Remembering that you are divine, remembering your divinity, remember who you come from, that you already know what needs to be said, what needs to be done. Only you know what needs to be done for your what you need to do right now. Only you know that. You know what I mean? So just like Candace Love said, that book is really the truth. And it's crazy how just from listening to absorbing her story and how different points in remembering who the fuck she was makes me remember who the fuck I am. Which is sometimes confusing because sometimes, a lot of the times, actually, our emotions can feel so deep that we start to take on the information that the emotions is trying to bring to us, when that's not the purpose. We're just supposed to experience it to allow ourselves the opportunity to grow with that information in mind. With all the information that is given to us across our lifetime, we are supposed to remember who the fuck we are every step of the way, right? And just the scheme of that, the amount of detail, dedication, and creation and pure genius that the creator God most high has to think of all the intricacies in that. Not just with that as humans, but in creation itself is like mind blowing. I girl, listen, thinking about it makes me think about growing up when people say, you know, in the Bible, when people go and stand in the presence of God, they can't do nothing. They are almost like blinded by just how grand is literally the same thing, which Candace Love said in her book too. I'm like, that is so, because I felt it so many times in my life, and sometimes just the sheer amount of just that it gives you, just thinking about the detail and the love that God put into what life is supposed to be like for us. It can bring you to tears. And there's been many times where it has. And I know there will be many more times where it will, because God is good to us all the time, even when things are confusing. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the message. God is good and life is good, even when things are confusing, even when you're not feeling one emotion. You can be happy and confused at the same time. You can be sad and confused at the same time. You can be a lot of things at the same time, babe. And it does not mean that anything is wrong. It just means that you're supposed to be experiencing those emotions at present time. And you're not just experiencing it for yourself. You're experiencing it for the versions of you in that timeline that needs your guidance, that needs your wisdom, because you know exactly what you need at every given time, because God lives in you. Okay? Every time. There's no separation, never will be. So I need us to trust ourselves a little bit more. It's okay to look at other people for inspiration, but the trust and the love and the connection that we have with ourselves, sometimes it can be like, well, why can't this person be here for me? Why can't this person be here for me? It's really not about anybody else being there for you. It's about you being there for you. You holding space for yourself. You being there for yourself in the way that you would be there for other people. Because we tend to do for other people what we really should be doing for ourselves. Just because, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you can do a lot of beautiful, amazing things for people and connect with people, but it means nothing if you're only going to show that type of love to mirrors of yourself, reflections of yourself outside of yourself, and be so harsh on yourself when you need to be the most loving to yourself, because nobody else will understand your journey like you do. You can tell your story, but nobody else will feel the emotions. It can resonate with the specific times that shaped your mind and everything, and shape the perception of how you even view life. Nobody else will be able to feel those things. So out of everything and everybody that we come in contact with, we have to be the most loving to ourselves. And that is something that has been just a main thing that has been coming up for me lately. And just knowing how collective consciousness works, I don't really even think that that's just a me thing. I think that it is something that we all are learning and understanding at the same time. So yeah, y'all, that's the message. I didn't do the breaths today. I went right into it. And I apologize. If you need to pause this video so you can take you some deep breaths, please do. I did myself the honor of taking all of the deep breaths I needed before now, because like I said, I was in deep thought and I really needed to breathe it out before I began talking, because I was a little nervous about not knowing what exactly I wanted to say. You know, I want to do more episodes like this of just a conversation and not me just talking at y'all. Sometimes I feel like I can really like just talk at people just because I become so passionate about being encouraging. And you know, as much as that is needed sometimes, I want to have a connection. You know what I mean? You never have real genuine connection with people who are just talking at you. So yeah, y'all. We always chit chat, but we gonna be connection chatting, okay? Like moving forward, um, coming into a real grounded place with y'all, and I'm still do my encouraging talks, but I really feel really mellow and grounded about this talk right here. There's some excitement, but there's also just really root chakra energy, like all the way, especially with the red nails. How do y'all like these? I'm really feeling them. I'm really feeling them. But the root chakra energy is on 10 right now, okay? And I love that because it's just pure grounded love energy that I feel right now. And I hope y'all just feel all the love that I have for each and every one of y'all that are watching me right now, that are supporting me, and that are going on this journey back home to self with me, because we are a family. We're doing this together. But anyways, y'all, it's a little late around this neck of the woods, so I'm gonna go turn it in. But I love y'all. Peace.